In today's video, I'm going to show you how to help your hognose remove shed if they have any left. And if he does bite me, we'll also show another video of how to remove a bite. So he's still got a little bit of shed here left on his tail. The first thing I do when I see their shed is I check to see if the eye caps are still attached. So his eye caps were luckily still attached, but he does have some extra shed here on his back, and he's got some extra shed on his tail. So this little baby here, I'm gonna just hold him firmly. I'm not hurting him, but I'm just gonna hold him firmly so that he feels secure. And then I'm gonna rub a Q-tip on the spot where the shed is stuck. You don't wanna pull on the shed because you could damage the new fresh scales underneath it, but you just wanna make sure it gets nice and wet. The nice thing with the Q-tip is a lot of the times they will stick to the Q-tip as well while you're doing this. You don't necessarily have to completely get it off of here while you're doing this. As long as you get it nice and wet, when you put them back in their enclosure, they are more likely to be able to get it off themselves, like this little one on his tail here. So I'm not quite sure why he wasn't able to get this off. Now he is an albino, and when they're albinos and they're babies, it is tricky to tell when they're in blue, when they're getting ready to shed, especially the older ones. They are in blue for a few days, you can see. So there's some shed that's already come off here on the Q-tip. So when they're older, they're in blue longer. The babies aren't in blue for all that long. And so he just happened to be in blue for a short amount of time. So I did not increase like with an extra water dish or bump up his humidity. And I think that's maybe why he's got a little extra shed on here. So I'm just helping him out. Let's see, he is not one to love being handled. I don't get him out all the time. He doesn't seem to mind it. But we're just gonna keep working on this. There are lots of other ways that you can do this. If they have a lot of stuck shed, I will sometimes put, give them like a hot box. So heat up some water to like 80 degrees in the microwave, stick it in their enclosure, and just let them sit like at 100% humidity for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. That'll help out. It'll also help out if you, I've also done it where you put them in like a pillowcase. Well, first you get water again to about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you put them in the pillowcase and tie it up or watch it really closely so they don't climb out. But then just kind of slowly pour more water over the top of that pillowcase to keep it nice and warm, but not too hot, and let them squirm around in there. That'll help out also. Another way that you can do this is you can, hi Bria, you can use rubber gloves. And so like the rubber gloves that have a little bit of a texture on it, that's what I do if they do have a stuck eye cap. You want to be very, very careful with those eye caps. You can have a little bit more force when you're doing it here on their backs. But yeah, with that eye cap, you want to be very, very careful. So I will sometimes use the Q-tip for it. I will also use that rubber glove and just ever so slightly and gently just keep rubbing over the top of that eye cap until you can get it off. You want to be careful not to leave eye caps on them because it can cause infections or whatever underneath that shed. So I think we're just about here. There's a little bit left on the tail, but I'm going to go ahead and give him a break from pestering him. But as you can see, other than maybe some that's still left on the tail, I think we pretty well got it. This should also loosen it up enough that he should be able to get any additional off on his own. So thank you very much, Pineapple, for being my helper here, and message if you have any questions.